let's go to the next question. So guys, I'll tell you one thing. Since you can't see all the options on the screen, and you'll have to scroll up and down. Okay, fine. Wait, let me see if I can make that happen. Can you guys see the whole question, or is the font too small? I don't think you guys can see anything that's written, no? Tell guys, I'm on the other page. Turn your mic on. Yes, no.
It's too small, sir.
Okay. So I'll give you a minute. Okay. So I'll give you first 35 seconds or 40 seconds to read the question, to read the segment and the question. Then I'll take you to the options. Okay. You'll have a total of 1 minute, 20 seconds for this question. This is what we call an infographic question, which is testing the main idea. So all of you, your time starts now. Excuse me. Okay. So I think you've read the segment now, right?
Yes, sir.
You've read the question also. Now I'm going to tell you one thing about the options. Every option has correct data as per the table. Okay, so no need to go back to the table to verify the data. Understand, they're not testing whether you can read the table. Is this a math exam or an English exam? An English. So that table is actually completely irrelevant to you getting to the answer. Okay, fine, let's see. You have 30 seconds more to get your answer. I'll tell you how to go about it after that. You'll type in your answer when I tell you to go ahead. Five more seconds. You guys are feeling the pressure of time, huh? No? Okay, type in your answers. Ryan, you think it's A. Okay. What about Suhani and Divya? Divyam, you think it's C. Suhani, you think it's A as well. Just move this down, okay. Now, Suhani, why is it A?
I think it's the most informative
The most informative.
and it's
Okay.
pretty direct.
All the options are direct. All right, fine. The reasons you're giving is not logical. Okay. I think you had a gut instinct for A.
I think
You went with gut instinct. Ryan, why don't you go ahead and tell me?
basically it says participation evaluations vary widely. We're looking for an option that gives a proper contrast. For example, 82% said it is possible, while only 60% possible something else. This is like a wide range, and I think that should give it a positive.
Okay, so the criteria you told was absolutely correct. Okay, now I'll go ahead, solve the question for anyone who didn't get it. Okay, Ryan got it this one. Okay, let's see. I'm going to ignore the table I'm not even going to read the table. Okay. All right. Georgia Tech robotists D. Era Brandt and Ayana Howard, along with ethicists Jason Borenstein, were interested in people's perceptions of robots' competence. Okay. They recruited participants and asked them how likely they think that it is a robot how likely they think it is that a robot could do work required in various occupations. First component, various occupations. Participants' evaluations varied widely. Depending on which occupation was being considered. For example, so I'm not going to discuss the use of a semicolon here. We'll do it later. So what I've understood is my option has to have two elements. Various occupations and varied response. Right? I think Ryan, you hit on the second one. Right? Varied response. And you got the answer just by that. That's also okay. You identified two aspects and you got the answer. You identified one out of the two and you got the answer. So I have two aspects which I need in my answer. Okay. Now let's look at the options. A. 82% believe that it is somewhat or very likely that a robot could work effectively as a tour guide, but only 16% believed it could work as a surgeon. So we have an option that's mentioning the opinions of people on two different occupations, surgeon and tour guide, and the responses varied. So both my criteria tick, we keep this. Option B. 47% of participants believe that it is somewhat or very likely that a robot could work effectively as a teacher, but 37% of respondents believe that it is somewhat or very likely that a robot could do so. So out here, do you have two occupations? So you have the varied response. Okay, there's a difference. Okay, but you don't have the two occupations. So it doesn't satisfy one of the criteria. I think this option, you didn't go for it because the difference was less. I think, Rian, you went for this one because the difference was more. But are you understanding another way how you could have eliminated B? Okay. Now see, 9% participants were neutral about whether a robot could work effectively on television news anchors, while the same percent. So out here, 9%, 9%. We don't have a varied response. D. 62% believe that it is somewhat or very likely that a robot could work effectively as a firefighter. Again, none of the elements are there. There's no varied response. There's no varying occupations. So just from language use, I can get to. Are we clear? How you go through such a question? An infographic English question?
So.
Okay.